Hi, you watching your favorite YouTube channel, Learning Digital. Here we learn digital world things, so subscribe this channel for more digital world videos. Welcome. In this lesson, we'll learn how to add page titles and descriptions to your site pages. This meta information helps search engine bots find and categorize your web pages. It's also the first thing users will see when your website appears in search. This information is important to both SEO and for making a good first impression. In fact, the decision to click or not click on your page is driven largely by the content we are going to create in this lesson. When you spend the time to curate high-quality meta descriptions, you have a major leg up on the competition. This metadata is one of the most overlooked optimization techniques there is. Okay, let's get to work. From our main menu, go to the Pages section. This is where the bulk of our site editing will happen. And this section of your dashboard is where you load all page-level search engine optimization as well. Let's create a new page so we can see how it works. Click the plus button next to the main navigation and select Page Layouts. This will give us some pre-built pages that have been designed already so that we don't have to start from scratch. Let's scroll down and select FAQs, and then click on this first FAQs one. A frequently asked questions page is a common one for most business owners, and it's a really good opportunity to work on optimization. We are going to start by changing the page name from FAQs 1 to FAQs. You'll see why in a second. Now hover on the new FAQ page you've created. I'm going to click Enter. Now I'm going to hover over this. Click on the wheel, this editing tool in the right corner, and a new box will appear. In the middle here on the side you can see these tabs: General, SEO, Social Image, and Advanced. And in the middle that information will populate. You'll see the page name and navigation title and the URL slug here. Now we removed the one from the page title because we really don't need it in our URL. And in fact we want to keep our URLs as clear and concise as possible to eliminate any confusion. A great tip for knowing if your URL is clear is to read it out loud to yourself. If you understand what the page is about, you've done your job well. Okay, let's go over to the SEO tab. You'll notice that the title automatically has your site name after it, and that's because of those preset variables we talked about back in lesson 2. We'll leave that as is, but we do want to play with the rest of this title. So this is a good place to insert an important keyword phrase and be as descriptive as you can about the content of the page. Let's go ahead and write this out, and for my Hester Pickles site I'm going to write orders, refunds, and shipping. Common FAQs. I've tried to be as descriptive as I can here to let customers know what to expect when they arrive on the page. And you'll see that title reflected here. This is how it will appear in the search results. So now let's move down here to the SEO description. This is another good opportunity to use any keywords you have in mind, but keep in mind that people will use this description box more than search crawlers. Therefore, make this as persuasive and human-friendly as you can. Give your customers a reason to click because the click-through rate will affect your SEO. The more times people click, the higher the chances that your page will rank. Of course, you can't be misleading either, so the trick is to strike a balance between describing your content and compelling action. For this page, let's write something like the following. See answers to the questions SMRT ask us daily. Feel free to pause this video and create a stronger description here. When you are ready, click Save, and let's look at the headers on our page. To do so, we'll click the Edit button in the top left area of the main window. This will allow us to make changes directly to the page. Now, an often overlooked and easily addressed optimization tactic is to ensure that your page follows proper header tag formatting. That means that every page needs to lead with an header 1, which is abbreviated in HTML to H1, and have header 2 and header 3 subsections. Those usually show up as H2 and H3. As readers, we don't really notice this, but search engines do, and search bots and crawlers will use this information to catalog your page, much like reading a table of contents. So let's check to see if our page follows the structure. We are going to click the Frequently Asked Questions header and watch for the text editor to appear above it. It's a black thin bar. This text is actually a header 2, so let's switch it to a header 1 using this drop-down arrow. Now let's check the first bolded text that follows. Click on this. This is actually a header 4 because it's a question. We are going to turn all of our questions into header 3s, but we also need to add a header 2. So to do so, click to the other side of your page until you see this little dot. Now let's click on this and we are going to add text. Let's title this under Returns and Read Phones. Now we'll see that this is actually going to default to paragraph text. We are going to change that to a header 2. Now you can go through the rest of these questions and switch them from H4S to H3S, which would logically follow our H2 or header 2 that we just added. Let's go ahead and save the changes we just made. We are going to hover over the Done button in the top left corner and hit Save. Now right about now you might be feeling frustrated with the design of your page. People often choose their headers based on design, and that makes sense, but if you need to adjust the size and font of your headers to make them properly optimized, you can always jump into your design settings and tweak them there, or add some custom CSS to your site so it looks just right. The most important thing is to make sure that your headers are optimized before design. Good job, you've just created and optimized a new page in Squarespace.